left till the designated time. I guess we can start already to kind of give people a heads up and leave some space in case anybody has questions at the end of it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, yeah, feel free.
Yeah, cool. And of course, I want to greet everybody who's listening a happy Tuesday. Welcome to the space. And if you're new to these talks that we do every now and then, please do stick around. I promise we don't bite or anything. We just really like building games. I'm Tari from community events at MYRIA. And again, if you're new to MYRIA, we are an end-to-end gaming ecosystem and Ethereum layer 2. And that means our job is to make it a breeze to build and mint on our platform and allow players and builders to explore games and dApps while enjoying gas-free, carbon-neutral transactions at speed. Our community has grown to over 500,000 folks globally, and our network is currently supporting over 11 million verified wallets and upwards of 270 game studios. And of course, we're here to talk about studio development, blockchain gaming, and everything in between. And by we, I mean me and Cronus himself. Him and his team are building a game powered by MYRIA called Crystals of Fate. Please welcome Jonathan McKay, CEO at Skymarch Entertainment.
Awesome. Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it Jonathan or is it just John?
Either one is fine by me.
Cool. In any case, I'm glad you made it so we can talk about what you've been up to lately with the team and just introduce your project to everyone listening. So Crystals of Fate, we finally get to tell people about it. And maybe to start, could you give us an overview of Crystals of Fate and some of the lore behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Crystals of Fate is a simultaneous CCG. So it's a card game. The best way to kind of put it is sort of like a Hearthstone meets Clash Royale. So typically, if any of you guys have played, card games before, they're typically like turn based. So you have a turn, and then your opponent has a turn, and it just keeps going over and over until someone wins. Whereas with what we're doing, it's simultaneous combat. So both players are playing in real time. So it's much faster. It's much more quick, pace. There's like who, what, where, when, and why type of thinking, and yeah, it's just much. It's a brand new type of spin on traditional card games. Just much faster. It takes away, the typical, player disengagement. With waiting for the other player to have a, wait 30 seconds or a minute. It's just the evolution of card games in general.
Yeah, I love that. The fact that, it's kind of picked up the pace and sort of infuses that spirit of being in battle and not having a lot of time to think too much and just, base it on instincts a lot of the time.
Yep, and it's just more. I feel like card games in general. Like I've personally been like a player and then also like a top type of player in most of these card games. Like growing up and playing through them, and I mean as developers or just gamers, the players all know. It eventually just you try and you know kind of reinvent things a little bit or twist things to make offer new sort of gameplay and everything for players. So that's kind of what we've done along the way. It's been a long time coming for sure, though.
Yeah, something fresh for sure. And I know that's a pretty comprehensive preview. Thank you for that. And since it's an online card game with various battle mechanics built in, could you maybe give us a sneak peek of some of the play styles so that different classes can unlock?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's several different classes. I mean, there's sort of like you can be an assassin. An assassin's the way their play style is. They're much more like they're really quick. They got low cost minions and spells to do sort of quick damage. They also have some sort of keyword type of minions that you can play with. Like multi strike, which basically allows you to do two consecutive hits at once. And there's also that's sort of the breakdown for assassin. There's also like mage that uses a lot more spells and that can play use spells in real time to sort of do AOE damage or healing or that sort of thing and gain back mana. And then you've got like warrior that has like overpower, so they have a keyword sort of skill that basically allows for the attack damage to do more than their health, and then does damage to their enemy. And then necromancer with like final act where they the it does something when they die, and reincarnation, and there's several different mechanics and sort of keyword terms around each of the different classes. But we've got 6 different classes, and there'll be even more as we move along. We've got over 200 plus cards already in the game that we're going to be launching with, and this is just the beginning. So there's so much to go over when it comes to just the classes and synergies, and how you can sort of assemble your deck and everything.
Yeah, I mean, like I can imagine there's so many things that you can do already with just the classes that you've mentioned, and it's going to be really exciting to see if you guys add any more. I'm sure this takes a lot of thought too. Like card games take math, is what I've learned. Like it takes some really solid knowledge on both statistics, math, and just overall how mechanics tie together. So like really good on you guys.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, no, from a design point of view, you've got to be pretty on point. And with what we're doing, it's going to allow us, like we've spent obviously a lot of time to try and pre-balance everything. But as we're in kind of early, sort of alpha access right now. We're going through a stage where obviously this is going to still be a point until we get into beta, and then we fully kind of release all the cards to truly. But yeah, there's a lot of testing and a lot of balancing that goes into a lot of this for sure.
Yeah, and that early access and being able to experience the game before it reaches its kind of final form is what get people really, really excited. So I'm really excited for your community building efforts coming up, and what you guys built so far. And you wouldn't get into trouble, right, if you had a favorite class? Like, the NFT wouldn't like go moon overnight.
No. I've always kind of been the bad guy. I like the evil. I like the evil looking characters. I don't know why,
cool.
but so more like necromancer. I mean, it's more necromancer is more of a control type of deck, and we've also got support class, which is like healing and trying to buff your health to basically stay alive, and it's like trying to jump over a wall. You can never climb high enough if the health totals get too high. So I would highly encourage you guys to check out the website and play on PC. We also just released a mobile build that we'll be putting on the website and announcing as well, so you guys can try it out on PC and on mobile with Android.
Cool. Yeah, I could definitely vouch for the mobile build. I just downloaded it earlier today, and I've been fiddling around and exploring this stuff. And I just want to take a moment to shine the spotlight behind the scenes as well. Like, could you tell us how your team kind of got together, how everyone sort of banded together to build an online game? What's the origin story there?
Oh boy, where do you begin with that? That goes back almost 10 years ago, Tarzan.
Oh,
yeah, it really does. So I, before entering the gaming universe and being like, into the gaming scene, I've been an entrepreneur and done different things. But yeah, before I came into this, it was 2013, and we started building out the lore and sort of the initial sort of base design of how everything was going to what was going to look like, and obviously that's changed over time, but and evolved and everything. But I started on my own, right? I just I wanted to do something unique, and I saw a time and a space where I just had my first child, my daughter that's now 7 already.
Aww.
And yeah, and we were in a pretty decent place financially, so I was like, well, I want to do something that really makes me happy, and start on my a journey. And this is it's definitely an unknown, where you're jumping definitely 2 feet first into an ocean.
Yeah.
So I started down that path, and then I met several different people along the way, along the journey, and it was like finding diamonds in the rough. To try and find like-minded people that
Yeah.
could see the what I was, trying to do, and kind of like just, the people that I could gel with and that had the experience. And so I first met my co-founder, John Stone, which is, my
Hmm.
artist and also art director, and he's from Australia. And just to give you a bit of a background for everyone, we've got a team. We're a remote-based team from all over the world. I'm from Canada, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, here in the mountain, Rocky Mountains. But the team is compromised of people from Australia to Russia to Brazil to the Philippines to everywhere across the world. Um, but basically, it's always been about talent and just the type of personality, and then what people could bring to the table, that and if we could kind of work together. But now we're a team of about 50 strong. With my external team out in China, which does a lot of our modeling and animation work that we work with. So we're quite a decent sized team that are working on this project, and we're still going to scale even further as we move along. But it's yeah, I started very a long time ago, and then just kind of worked my way up over time. There's definitely been a lot of pitfalls and learning lessons and things as we all go through life. That's just part of the journey. But it's been well worth it. I would say for anybody that's looking to do something that they love, or they're passionate about. There's never going to be a you know. Um, there's never going to be a time for you to jump in and want to do something that's ideal. So the best thing to do is just jump in if you can do it, and just follow what you want to do, and you never truly fail unless you stop doing what you're doing. So take it from me. I'm almost 40 years old now, but I started when I was 10 years ago, and it's never too late to do what you want, as long as passionate about what you're doing and you follow through.
Oh, that's super super well said, John. I mean, that's experience you can't buy either, right? Like just going through it and putting in the years and the work. And I'm glad that people finally got a chance to see what you guys have been up to. I always find it really cool how Web3 team members meet for the first time because, of course, not to generalize, but it's usually like, oh, I met this guy at Comic-Con, or like the most random chance encounter there is out there. So really cool to see how you guys kind of got together. And kudos to John, by the way. The art is absolutely fantastic. Like I've been looking through the cards and I was like,
Mm.
wow.
Oh no,
God.
yeah, no, it's trust me, he'll appreciate that, because I give him hell all the time, just to I'm very OCD and picky, and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of the guys are just like, oh man, you love him and you hate him, because the quality of work is, I'm very very picky, and the guys have just done amazing to bring everything to life, to what it is, and it's still going to be. I mean, just wait, it's still going to get even better over time with this sort of art and UI, everything, animations. Like we're always learning, evolving, and just the expectations and quality, the benchmark always gets higher. So
Yeah. I mean, when we've worked with somebody for like a decade, it's kind of like an old bickering couple, but getting shit done.
absolutely, oh yeah. I mean, but these guys are all family. Like we're to do what we've done, to get to where we are today. A lot of people would they would say, like, how did you get there? Just because uh, I've self financed everything pretty much to date, outside of some other things. But it's hard. It's very challenging. It can be very very challenging to take on such a like an endeavor. With just what we're trying to achieve, and also like to get the type of quality that I would expect, right? Like for all of
Hmm.
us, like for anyone putting on the developer hat, of course you want what you put out is very important, for people to to have like a sort of quality standard, It's like we talked about before. It's like your baby, so you want to always put your best foot forward and have that be sort of reciprocated and appreciated. So yeah, it's a big deal, but we're there, and we're very happy to be here for to what we've achieved.
Absolutely. And for someone who's played a lot of card games, you kind of get to know the art styles and what you mentioned, what you've come to expect from a quality card game. So it's really and it's awesome to see you in that seat, kind of making those executive design decisions and just making stuff in your head a reality. And happy to help you do that through the platform as well. How was your guys' developer journey so far? In terms of asset building, maybe creating like that really epic gaming atmosphere that those battle hungry, strategy loving players out there love.
Yeah, so I mean, the big thing I would say about that is we're always looking at inspiration from everything, right? Like, and you want to, obviously there's Hearthstone out there. League of Legends has, I believe, a card game. I mean, there's so many different people that have like a card game revolving around their IP. So it's important to kind of see what everyone else is doing, but also stay true to what you're building. And I mean, it's like anything else. We all look at what our other people are building, and then see what we can kind of do or do better, or kind of invent and bring to the table for players to enjoy. So that's what we've kind of done. It's hard to do that sometimes because as a developer, you barely even look up because you're always working. So it's hard to even with just the work craziness of it all and family and everything. But yeah, no, we're really happy overall with the game. It's very fast paced. Like I said, it's
Mhm.
you know for most people here that have played card games, I'm sure you're used to sort of very traditional gameplay where the meta matches and the design is once people kind of figure it out, it's kind of always the same. You're joining a match, and it's typical play style, or
Yeah.
you get in, and especially with turn based, you're waiting for the right card. If you don't have it, you're playing catch up with the other person, and then you're hoping that they don't have something to counter what you're trying to play. Like it almost becomes kind of predictable in a way, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we're limiting all of that with the type of battle system that we have, just with the simultaneous battle, it also it makes it that for the cards that you have, it doesn't make them redundant, so
Mhm.
that they just lose value, right? So like how in Hearthstone or other games, there's other cards and there's new expansions, and then it just the high powered cards or the meta system will just pretty much allow you to play these cards in order to compete,
Yeah.
and then everything else just kind of gets ignored. Well, we don't really have that happen because of the way that the battle system is designed with the simultaneous combat, because every card basically has value, and you're going to always be able to play that card and achieve something, and either use it as a defending tool, attack, or whatever. But um, it's yeah, it's just very different. So like I said, I would highly encourage for people that are trying to wrap their heads around that. I would highly encourage you guys to try it out.
Yeah, yeah, and I get what you mean though. Like it's kind of like when there's a certain meta that centralizes over certain cards, then it's kind of like the card equivalent of dilution in in
Yep.
token terms. So yeah, it's crazy how you guys are kind of thinking ahead, like one step ahead, and just going for like a dynamic system where the cards are really come into their own. So that's really really cool to see.
Yeah, and not only that, but just as an aside, the cards also with what we're doing, and obviously with blockchain and Web3,
Hmm.
the cards you're going to be able to evolve. You're not just collecting cards and that's it, right? It's just not one
Yeah,
and done. You're able to like put resources and future coin and everything and evolve them, and you can actually convert them into 3D characters in the game, so that
that's
the
cool.
card becomes 3D characters themselves. And what we're trying to do is offer true interoperability within all of our future games as well. So Crystals is obviously our card game, our baby, but we plan on we've got Zeal, an ARPG type of type of game, and then we're all future games, whether it's an MMO or whatever, you're going to be able to use all of these assets and characters across our universe of games. So there's true utility and added value.
Absolutely. And I mean, the fact that you can put resources towards a certain asset, in this case, a game NFT, and then just, cradle it and take care of it and use it. And and on top of that, you own it, right? Like that's the whole ownership aspect of the whole token system and blockchain. So it's a really exciting space to get into now, and I'm glad that you guys are really capitalizing on it. And I'm glad. And I did try the game, by the way. I really love how yeah, I did. I love how the camera pans to the real battle location, and it takes you on a ride before you start. Slinging
you
cards.
like that, eh? It's kind of cool. It's like it's part of the lore and immersion of the game. Like I can't tell you how much. I mean, my wife would go crazy the amount of time I've spent, building out the lore and just everything about this universe that we've created, right? Like it's just crazy. So like each of those battle locations that you're playing in, obviously are different battlegrounds, but they encapsulate basically different places in the world. Like there's actually. Yeah, it's really cool. Like in our white paper that we're going to be officially releasing, it's more like a Bible because it's like you could read on for hours.
Yeah.
It's like we plan to have 21 different areas in the game, like 21 zones, and there's like 5-6 air battle maps per zone. So like it's crazy the amount of content and future content that we can work with.
Yeah, and it goes towards also the whole world building aspect and immersion, which you were kind of touching on earlier. And I love how the camera isn't just like a pan; it's a swoop. Like it takes you. There's some G forces involved in that whole situation, which is really it's a nice fun ride. And if anyone in the audience doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about, go download the game. It's on Android right now and the PC version, and you'll see what I mean. And John, those really compelling moments, like when people like maybe Newton got bonked in the head by an apple, right? Like, did you guys have that? Do you have like your eureka aha moment, especially in Web3 and blockchain?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely like that was in before 2017, 2018. Like it was definitely years before the 2021 boom and when everything was crazy. But yeah, like we knew we wanted to be in this space because I mean this is the future. Obviously there's been many projects and releases of different content and games before us, but we really want to do right by this space, and that's why we've kind of built the game first before even anything else. Like we've taken investment and everything out of the equation for players so they can actually try and look play the game and everything beforehand. But like this space is the future, right? Like being able to for people and players, like not only just for myself but for everyone, to be able to truly own your assets and do with them as you will, and be able to use them across different other games or whatever. It just is incredible, right? Like you don't really have that opportunity. Like I'm a long time sort of. I used to play WoW in my earlier days, like even vanilla. That's so long ago, man. It makes me feel old.
Winter to your age there.
Yo, for sure. I was, oh God, I was what, 18, 19 back then. But yeah, like playing those types of games and playing through them, and if only those types of games back then would have what we have today. I mean, it's incredible the amount of time that people spend playing these games, and if they truly it's they put a lot of time and resources into them, right? So why shouldn't they be able to own and do what they want with them after they purchased or acquired them? So this space is awesome for allowing and opening up that bridge for people to do exactly that. And it's amazing, and it keeps everything in check. It's a very honest system. It just yeah, no, I can't wait for what the future brings. I think what I'm most excited about is when people don't even know the difference, like that they're playing a Web3 or anything game, because it's all that is behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
that's when we're truly going to have like mass adoption, because then there won't be any of these like logins or authenticator checks, or I can't imagine, back in, even before when I entered the space, you had to individually insert the wallet ID, and if you made a mistake, well then everything's gone. Like
Yeah.
there was, can you imagine, so
Oh, that would be terrible. All your hard earned stuff is just gonna be gone. And I think you were kind of born in a really interesting time. Not to hammer down on the whole age thing, but then
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure you've had like your fair share of those really nostalgic retro games back when Game Boy Color and even before then were like a big thing. And I guess it really helps in the whole inspiration end of things.
Oh yeah, we're talking way before Game Boy Color. We're talking like Nintendo, the original Nintendo,
First
Super
one,
Nintendo,
yeah,
Sega
yeah, the big
Genesis.
block. The one that looked like a printer. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Not that I've seen it live, but I know of it in myths and legends.
Oh boy, yeah, no, a lot of what people have done before, I would still say are some of the best games, and they put their craft and all the time into what we have today, because everything inspires everything, right? Like
Yeah,
what I played growing up all inspired the generation before, so it's an evolving inspiration for everyone to keep building. And I mean, so my favorite game growing up was Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo. I'm an RPG guy. um
hey,
yeah, yeah, so Squaresoft was my jam back in the day.
yeah, definitely. And like you mentioned earlier, people spend hours, hundreds of hours on games. Like people even finish titles in one sitting. I'm sure they're getting help, but they're also, yeah, there's just a whole market of people who are really, really invested in the games that they play and just would love just the idea of owning what they've worked for, and you're just really made possible through the space. And yeah, now that Web3 gaming has really kind of come into its own, what are your particular thoughts on Ethereum layer 2s and the role that they play in, well, first off, gaming and the blockchain arena as a whole?
Yeah, obviously very important. I mean, obviously, you've got a lot of competition, but there's so many people like MYRIA. You guys have emerged, to be, the blockchain that wants to like conquer and to be the gaming platform for Web3, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because everyone else that I've you talk about Solana or Polygon, or there's so many, right, that have come out that has their own chain. But for you guys, you really want to be like the Web3 gaming platform, which is awesome, which is like why we're all here. But like, yeah, it's super important that we've evolved to be where we are today because of the layer twos, and obviously everyone's taking inspiration to build and create what we have today because of it.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot, John. And we've kind of shared an ethos there on like free to play gaming, and probably why Crystals of Fate is kind of really just test drivable on the get go. It's because we kind of share that vision of wanting people to eventually not know the difference between Web3 and Web2, and it just becomes a norm, and just people no longer intimidated by 0x addresses because they're so long. And
Yeah.
we're kind of side eye monkey meme at that, because our MYRIA wallet address is like way longer than an Ethereum address. So yeah, definitely kudos to you guys for working towards that. And you mentioned that you've worked in Web 2, like started out obviously because Web 3 is a pretty kind of young industry. I think it's just about over a decade old, if I'm not mistaken, less
Mhm.
than two.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you find any difference working in Web 2 and Web 3? Are there any like glaring, striking things to compare?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the big thing is with Web three is a lot of. I mean, this again, this is just my opinion, guys, and I don't know if you guys all share it, but it's for me. I feel that Web three is kind of gotten unfortunately a bad rap because of some of our predecessors with games that have unfortunately rugged or some of the stuff that has gone on before, which has kind of
Yeah,
left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, right? And duly so. I mean, a lot of people were kind of taking advantage of the FOMO and hype of everything, and for the people that want to do right in this space, that have true intentions, it kind of sours the mood for everyone, right? So
yeah,
for us, like this is why we've kind of built it first and taken that risk out of the equation completely, because you can play the game right away. It's free to play. There's no barriers to entry. There's no paywall. And obviously a lot of us have learned from the past mistakes of some of the big guys out there, that where it just makes it unsustainable, like in the future for new players to come in. So everything's free to play. Everything's very aggressive, like as far as like pricing, Web 2. But like that's one of the big glaring things, the elephants in the room that people don't talk about much, and that's just the honest truth is, you know um yeah, just people have unfortunately kind of soured the mood. But for those that are actually have true intentions, that are building, they'll get to where they want to be. But like, yeah, there's the overwhelming amount of optimism behind this space. And I mean, like I said, it's the future. What you're going to be able to do, and with the things, these assets and NFTs and just even the tokens and coins in the future. And that what's excites me the most is the interoperability between different games, to have true utility. And so that that's something I touched on earlier, but that's something we're really really excited about, to add added value for players to be able to play with a character and then go play an MMO or tower defense game or a card game or whatever you want with it. Like the possibilities are truly endless.
yeah,
um so it's really really exciting.
yeah. I agree. It's kind of like literally digital crossover with your games, and how you can just transport assets in between. And that's such an exciting idea, isn't it? Like having your NFTs potentially like outlive the game and just living on and interacting in different universes. It's mind-boggling how the possibilities are just kind of endless there, like you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. The big thing is, for developers or just people that are making products in the space, is you just need to do right by the people and the players that support you. And I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, without any of you guys here, I mean, we wouldn't exist. Like, really. So it's really really a big thing for transparency and just honesty to everyone.
Yeah, yeah, and that's an interesting point, right? Like, because if you're comparing Web 2 and Web 3, I'm sure Web 2 had its own kind of pitfalls and hits and misses. It just wasn't so like publicized as it is now. And
Absolutely.
I guess that's kind of the double-edged sword of transparency and decentralization, is that everything is out there. It's laid out on the carpet. And in a way, it's even more relatable now that we're just going through the same stuff, and the same mistakes. Like the same hits and misses. It's just that in our day and age in social media, it's being publicized and everyone knows about it. And in a way, it kind of humanizes the process a little bit and gets people excited, shares your downfalls, and builds empathy in the community, which is really really cool to see.
Yeah, it's well said. I believe so, definitely. Like for all those that are truly in this space to be here and trying to be like the pioneers to build and inspire and evolve and get to where we all truly want to be with what we
Yeah.
discussed, before with, players just not even knowing, that they're playing Web3 and then they can do everything and it's just seamless. Like that's the where, we all want to get there. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of like improving people's lives even, and the work we do kind of in the background too, because I've had some people here on the show as well kind of tell their experiences about the difference between Web 2 and Web 3, and they were saying that like approvals are way faster in Web 3. Like they don't have to go through a lot of the kind of bureaucratic ladders to get something signed, and like deposits and
Yeah.
payment and
Well, the other big thing I would say besides the what I said earlier touched on is I feel like there's wow, there's a couple, but there's people that invest in NFTs, right, purely just speculative, and they're flipping and everything,
yeah.
and then there's players, and then there's sort of a hybrid. But my hope is that we really bring more, the traditional sort of player experience, and then, but people get the benefit of owning their NFTs and product, and if they want to sell them, do, by all means, whatever, they can sell them, flip them, as they, mature and progress over time, the values inflated, whatever. But, that's something that, you don't see in Web 2 because it's not possible, right? Like you don't get the
Yeah.
opportunity to sell or trade or really do anything. Like that's all black market. So we're just bringing, we're getting rid of that, kind of barrier, and you're able to do whatever you want. And that's, again, allowing people that have, spent all the either a massive amount of time to earn something that's commendable, or if they paid it, I mean, they're able to do whatever they want with it. So that's the synergy of Web3, and I mean, it's awesome because that was always like playing, these old school games like WoW or whatever. There's always like gold farmers and people doing things, and then they find ways to sell, or do whatever they want. So it was
Yeah.
only a matter of time, before something like this sort of came to be. But again, like just empowering people to own their assets is the key.
Yeah, really. I totally agree too, because like crypto in general and blockchain get a bad rep too, because there are people like, oh, it's just a to earn thing, right? Like it's earning fake tokens. But really, when you get really into the like the spirit, especially in gaming, right, where the core that you're holding on to is entertainment and sparking joy in people's lives, and that kind of just adds another dimension to what's possible, like NFTs and ownership. Absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, and yeah. I think another thing though, was kind of interesting when like discussing Web 2 versus Web 3 is there have been people on here who couldn't answer this question, mainly because their first job was in Web3. And it kind of just speaks to how it's kind of becoming more and more a norm for people to have like a first job that's in Web3. Like they didn't have to transition over from, so it's kind of like just a normal thing that people do.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to have the perspective of where we've been to where we're going to, right? Like,
Yeah.
but like you said, yeah, like there's so many new generations of people, and it's becoming normal to get into this space. I have so many different friends and people that I know that are involved in Web3, but there's still people that they're like, well, what's Web3? What's blockchain?
Yeah. There's still a curve. There's still a learning curve in there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but we'll get there because already, like, look at what the effect of Web3 had, where people were accepting currency in like the Philippines and everything with what's that one game that was super popular again?
Axie Infinity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh
So like,
yeah.
like that I mean, and then another use case, like that's look at when Pokemon Go was came out, right? Or the mobile version there, where you had to use your location, and so look at the effect of what some of these types of games and things have. And I remember calling in, and everyone was busy to try and put more data on, just because it was using so much data. So it just goes to show you the power of what can happen, and the after effect and trickle down effect, what can inspire. So what Axie Infinity did with people accepting, currency, and I mean, that's eventually, like, that's going to become a normal thing, like, everywhere. Obviously, there was tons of hype around that one, but as we sort of everything becomes more stable and normalized, you my hope is that you're just literally going to be able to just swipe and walk up, and it's just truly normal, just to use your currency, where just as easy as tapping a card with your Visa is.
Yeah, yeah. I think FTX went in that direction. They made a card, I remember. But it didn't. We live and we learn. I just had like war scenes with the whole like FTX contagion and explosions and crying and screaming.
We'll get there regardless, right? Like like I said before, the people that are truly the ground warriors here to trying to achieve what we have set out. We'll get there, but there's always bumps and bruises and hurdles along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we kind of open the floodgates and maybe like ask people if they have any questions, you guys, without giving away anything like sneaky or exciting, what's next for Crystals of Fate in 2023 and beyond?
Well, obviously, you guys know that we exist now. We've been a part of MYRIA.
Congratulations.
We've been a part of MYRIA. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the big thing for us right now is just letting you guys know that we're here, and we've got a game that's playable, multi-platform, PC, mobile, iOS will be in the near future, but it's out for Android. We'll be posting that link. I don't think we have already, but we're actively updating it all the time. We're going to be announcing our official white paper release. Like I said, it's more like a Bible. Feel free, to use it to go to sleep with, because it's that long. You could be reading, trying to put yourself to sleep. But there's so much, honestly, to look in there. It has the characters, the lore, the future plans, stuff on our. We're going to be announcing an upcoming Genesis sale, NFT Genesis sale. We're going to be doing some free mints for MYRIA, your community, and also for some of our other, bigger guilds and, partners. We really want to, give as much as we can so that you guys can get immersed in the game, and also just, just get behind the project and help us build this up. The big thing right now for us is just community building, and just for people just to play and try the game and see where we're going, and see that there's you're not, if you later on invest or buy things or whatever, you're not going to be waiting 2 or 3 years for the game to come to life. Like, we already exist now, and you're going to be able to play and do whatever you want with any of your NFTs. So, all of these types of big announcements and things are coming in the near future. Very, very soon, actually. But like I said, the mobile PC is playable right now. We're in alpha, early alpha right now, and you were going to be announcing some free mint opportunities again for MYRIA, and in multiple waves, actually. So
cool. That's super exciting stuff, and it seems like a lot's going on, and I'm really stoked to see what you guys come up with, and that white paper. How many pages is it?
Oh God! Do you even want to know the answer? Do you even want to know the answer?
I'm so curious because I have this sudden urge to kind of just pick it up and make it like what you said, a kind of nighttime read.
Now you know about how data, analytical and data driven I am now.
Yeah.
It's got to be at least 100 or something.
Oh, that's like a whole year-end report to one of those like
It's not. It's really not that bad though. Like it's a lot of it's done in point form in your single sentences. Like everything's very, but it's there again just for transparency, right? Like how
yeah.
things work, how things are going to work, how the game works. You know, the even our whole story and continent is in there for people that really want to get immersed in like the places, how things came to be, the lore, the characters, their bios, their backgrounds. Like we're going the full nine on all of this, right? Like it's all or nothing. You know, we're not doing anything half-assed.
Yeah, and you guys really took the time to write that out. Does John have some scribbles and doodles in there as well?
No,
Monkey
no,
art style.
that's
Okay.
that's literally all me falling asleep all the time, right?
Okay. Well, I'll take your
Yeah,
word for it. I'll make it my nighttime read. I'll read it to my dog before I go to bed. And
oh, that makes me feel nice.
yeah, he'll know all about Crystals of Fate, and I'm glad that people know about Crystals of Fate. And we're going to open the quest. I'm sure some people are curious. We'll open the floor up to questions. We already have somebody who's requested to be a speaker. I'm going to bump him up and see if you have a question. So we have BTC Bullish. I'm going to approve you now. What do you have a question? Anything you'd like to ask John while we have him here? Oh, he went away. Got spooked.
That's okay. You could just you could just text too. Like I don't know if they can just
yeah,
text the question.
there's a little comment box down here. Let me see if anybody is like asking anything. Okay. Well, in any case, I'm opening the floor to questions. If you guys have a question, please just request to be a speaker, and I'll bump you up, and we can talk. Oh, BTC Bullish. I think you're muted at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Yeah, maybe he's just still forming his question. In the meantime, while we wait for people to kind of think of something, where can people find you? Like in terms of socials, website, like where's the best place to learn more about the project?
Twitter, Discord, Twitter and Discord. We're also on Telegram. Those are the main sort. I mean, we could say go to YouTube here, there, Facebook, but yeah, one way or another, like our Telegram, Twitter, and Discord are sort of our bigger ones. And obviously Discord being probably the most friendly for all the type of information that you're looking for with the announcements and everything.
Yeah, cool. So, and yeah, I love Discord for that purpose of just letting people know stuff, because you can have visuals on there, you can ping everybody, and people can just like talk in general, make friends.
Yes, we need more players, play testers. Get in there. Tell me that some classes are broken. Balancing. We need this input.
Yeah, sometimes it takes like an external player to kind of point out that this character has been broken this whole time.
Yeah. I'm sure there are definitely some things that we need to spend some time on and balance and everything. But that is definitely coming as the months go by into beta.
Yeah. Well, in case you're interested, like we get requests as well to kind of join playtests. If you guys need players, we can talk and maybe onboard some of the Myrians in our community to hop on and try the game out and tell you their thoughts.
Well, one big interesting thing too that I've yet to announce is, so for obviously the big thing behind this game is all it's heavily it's all about esports, right? Competition. Yeah. I mean, there's something for everyone though. Whether you're casual, competitive, just want to play the game single player and the story mode, right? Like we've got something for everyone. Even 2 versus 2 gaming, guilds. Yeah, we've got so much. I probably should have said this earlier, but yeah, we've got so much like depth and content behind the game, and same with the type of NFTs that you can buy. different heroes, characters, hero powers. We've got pets, emotes. You can truly customize your play experience. And that's all. It's all there. We've got some really high quality assets and things for people to acquire, enjoy, and play with. So that's why we said, go check it out and play and see. We right now we have most of everything unlocked so you guys can check everything out.
That's awesome. It's like, tip of the iceberg. There's just this whole thing that's been being built in stealth this whole time. You've been holding out on us.
Yeah, I tend to do that. I don't know why.
Okay, so Spider-Man left as a speaker. Well, and okay. I have another person who's requesting to be a speaker. Her name's Angeline. I'm gonna approve you right now. Let's see. The speakers always leave when I approve them for some reason.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, now that they know. Oh, Angeline, hello. I believe you're muted at the moment. Do you have a question for us? Probably not.
She's muted.
They just like the speaker role, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but that's okay.
Cool. Well, in case we do this again, which I hope we do. Oh, yeah, you're raising your hand, Angeline. Do you have a question for us?
Yeah. Thanks for this great opportunity to ask my question. May I continue?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, please fire away.
Okay. My question is, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, thank you. What plan in for global expansion? Are you focusing on market at this time or focus on building and developing or getting customer and users or partnership? Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Am I still? Can you still hear me at all?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. I just don't see my thing moving, so I don't know. Okay, that's okay. So, yeah, no, we're actively still developing. We're in alpha. Obviously, we're moving towards beta, but yeah, like right now, since Tarji knows, I'm pretty big into making sure that the product is up to snuff or up to a high level. Now we feel comfortable with that, and it's all about community building and marketing to get to the next level, because we've got a very big game, and now we want people to play it and see it and really build up our community.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope it did, and want to thank Angeline for stepping up to the podium and asking what's been on your mind. Curious about the project. We do have another request coming in. Let me just bump you up.
Yes, ask away.
Ask away. This is Bikram. He has a question. So I've approved you. Thanks so much again, Angeline. I'm going to bump you down now, and have a good day over there. Okay, so Bikram.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
I'm fine.
Do you have a question for Crystals of Fate?
Yeah, I have a question. I just want to ask them this. And why did they choose MYRIA, and instead of going for their own blockchain and own game stuffs, like they want to be for MYRIA? Why they want to be a part of our ecosystems instead of go for their own ecosystems or own chain? I hope you get my questions.
Yep, I got it. Thank you. Yeah, so obviously we were approached by MYRIA last year, I believe last year in September, and we never sort of committed to anyone before MYRIA. MYRIA is like we truly committed to MYRIA, and we believe we're betting on MYRIA just like they bet on us. This is the place to be for Web3 gaming. We saw what their vision was, and we bought in, and we have a lot of similar sort of background experiences with between the team and also with MYRIA. I've that for our team we've got several guys from Riot or Blizzard or several sort of life work experiences, and their team has an array of experience as well with, and also just with where they're going and where they're going to be. So we really bet on them, and because like they want to be the focus of Web3 gaming, and for a lot of these other blockchains, they kind of we're all over the place. They want it to be like on the enterprise gaming. They kind of want to be a solution for everything, whereas MYRIA just wants to focus primarily on gaming, and that's exactly what we want to do as well. So that's why we're here, and we are growing with them. Just as they're growing, we're growing, and we are very happy to be here for that.
How much time does it take for this, the launch and the fully pledged game on the MYRIA universe? How much time does it take? Probably.
Sorry, how much time does it take to be on in MYRIA, or you're asking about the game?
Game in the launching MYRIA ecosystem. So how much time does it take?
It's going to be fairly quick. Like within we're going to be launched within probably the plan is to be fully launched beta by before the end of the year. So that's going to be very quickly. But with the plans, like I said it before, you can play early access alpha right now. We're going to be getting all the integration ready, so you can actually use your NFTs and things right away, and everything's going to be fully. The plan is for either end of Q3 or Q4 this year for everything to be fully playable and done. But that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the game right now. And once we launch and announce our Genesis sale, that you're going to be able to find everything on the marketplace, buy, sell, trade, whatever you want. But that's all coming very quickly. I mean, it's already June, right? So time is going to go very, very quickly.
What is the planning main focus? Like a game or token or NFT? What is the main focus?
Right. So the main focus right now is going to be the NFTs, but our token, we're also going to be launching our COF token, Crystals of Fate token, and that is going to be announced and going to be launched in coordination with the beta release. So the COF token is and all of this is in our white paper that will be announced and posted as well, that you'll be able to find in our Discord and our website and everything. But everything is coming before the end of this year, including our token. But right now, the big thing first step is community building and the free mints, and then obviously leading up into our NFT Genesis sale coming up soon.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks, Bikram, and really great 3-part question there. And John, we definitely share the sentiment. We saw something special in your project, and we're super excited for people to know about all the hard work you guys put into it.
Yep, no, much appreciated. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do when you find like-minded people that want to. Ultimately, we all want to get to the same place, and it's just about helping each other achieve to get to the end goal.
Yeah. Passion, like I said earlier, passion project through and through. And, I'm glad that we found a project in you that also shares that kind of gamer first approach and really digging deep into the enjoyability of what it takes to make something that people love.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What I should say too is, and this is another thing I've failed to yet announce, is a lot of our, any of our NFT stuff moving forward, a percentage of that is all going to go into future, esports tournaments and prize pools, and like we got so much in store for you guys for the future. If you're someone that is motivated by NFTs or potential earnings, and claiming your top spot, if you find a niche and in the game and you really enjoy it. So there's something for everyone, and we always want to ultimately we want to do right by the community and our players, and we're really excited about the future of what we have in store for everyone.
Yeah, just putting it right back into the player experience, and if that's not gamer first, then I don't know what is. And John, it's been such a pleasure having you over and talking about picking your brain on all sorts of things and kind of just jamming. And thanks so much for attending this talk.
Oh no, we could do this for hours, right, Tosh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing another one. Definitely.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Well, we'll plan it out and see what we come up with. Maybe we can do a stream or something to get the community excited about what you guys are working on.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys don't want to just hear me talk. You'd rather see the gameplay and everything, which is rightfully so. We're going to be doing tons of giveaways and stream playthroughs, and you're going to be seeing a whole lot of action soon with streamers and content and announcements. So definitely follow our socials and jump on.
Yeah, cool. And I would say that you've been properly amusing to listen to, and you and the birds in the background. It's just been a real treat.
There you go. So, I wanted to bring the nature aspect to you.
Yeah, that's actually part of the immersion. Alrighty, well, we're right on the dot. We've covered a lot. And again, if you guys have any more questions about the projects, do feel free to follow their socials. I'm sure there's someone friendly there to answer your questions. And again, thanks so much to John for gracing us with his presence tonight. And we wish you guys really, really like the best with the upcoming sale and everything beyond that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you very much for having me. And we'll have to do this again, but definitely the stream or something. So people maybe we can even have people play us in real time and everything. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And of course, have a good day also to everybody who took the time to listen and hang out with us. And we'll catch you around.
Okay, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. And I definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yep, and also share this with your friends who wasn't able to make it to the talk due to time zone, whatever. You can just share. The recording will be up for anybody who wants to listen to this and learn more about Crystals of Fate beyond this talk. So I'm gonna end the space now, and thanks everyone.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks, Toji.
Thank you.